So welcome to the first FIFA 19 crazy squad builder of the year. Today's one is going to be the weirdest, the craziest injuries you've seen this year. I'm going to say this year, most of them are pretty much. So we are going to be doing a squad builder on FIFA 19, as you can see. Building, of course, the 11 who have been involved in these injuries. Now, I'm going to be giving away 12,000 FIFA points, okay, to one of you in the comment section down below who can suggest what my next squad builder should be. If that interests you, drop a comment down below. Drop a like if you want to see episode 2 of this new squad builder series. Something I've been doing a little bit for years, to be fair, but this year we're gonna go in with it, okay, this year. Once or twice a week, maybe even more. So I think it's fair to say we are gonna start off with the what formation we're gonna go for today? We're gonna go for, like, I don't know, a 4-3-3 or something like that. Nothing too major anyway for this squad builder. We've got clips to have a look at today. Big clips. So the first player is a player that got injured, okay. We've got a goalkeeper, this guy Edison, okay. We're gonna start off with here. This guy, believe it or not, got injured pretty badly by a high foot Mane tackle. Now, as you can see, the ball is there to be won for both of them. Obviously, Mane can't, stick his head there, so he puts his foot up there, catches Edison down the side of his face. It's a really bad injury. I remember Edison being in a very bad way after this happened. Obviously, he had loads of stitches in his face. It wasn't pretty, alright? Mane got red carded, obviously in that game too. But there were actually, believe it or not, quite a few goalkeepers I could have included for this squad builder, but Edison was the one I've gone for to start off the episode. Now, going into left back position then of this squad builder, we got a Borussia Dortmund left back now called Schmelzer. Now, Schmelzer, actually, he had a pretty nasty injury on him too this year. Now, Marcel Schmelzer, I think that's how you pronounce it, okay. Let's get him in their concept. Let's get him in their Champions League edition. He had a pretty nasty tackle, okay. As you guys can see on the screen right now, he's running past the player. The player has stamped on his ankle, okay. Literally stamped on his ankle really bad. Now, you can tell instantly from, obviously, Schmelzer's reaction that he's in a lot of pain here. This is easily an ankle breaking challenge, okay. We've seen these go horribly wrong over the years when someone's, his legs like that, mate. Someone's stamped on the side. We've seen loads of broken legs like that over the years. Schmelzer has gone down, of course, as you would obviously expect. I'm not really sure what happened to the guy who made the tackle. Was it a red card or was it just a yellow? But Schmelzer was stretchered off after that game as well. He could not play on, unfortunately. Now, typically, you might think, a defender getting injured would be from his own tackle. But no, it's actually someone tackling a defender. But yeah, it does happen. Moving on to the centre-back position then of this team. We've got one of the best centre-backs in the world. One of the most well-known centre-backs the world has ever seen. And it is, of course, Sergio Ramos is in here. They've got the Champions League edition concept card, if you like, to put in here. So he is actually going for a header. Ball's come across the box. He's going for a header. I think it's against Atletico Madrid. And bang, the defender boots him straight in the face. Now, you might be thinking, a lot of you might be thinking, that's probably karma, Ramos has dealt out his fair share of injuries over his career. But still, no one wants to see someone get booted in the face. That can go horribly wrong. He goes to the ground. He's rolling over. Instantly, blood is pouring out of his nose. He notices that straight away. Like I said earlier, you'd probably expect Ramos to be dishing out an injury or two in this video. But actually, in fact, we've got him in at centre-back, okay, as being one of the guys who was injured in this, obviously. Yeah, I think it's this year. I'm not really too sure. Then alongside him, we've got another centre-back, okay, who also experienced a pretty nasty tackle, I think, this year as well. And that is actually Hector Bellerin from Paul Pogba, believe it or not. So Pogba was going for the ball. I think he had a bit of a dodgy touch. He was going for the ball. He was overextending. And bang, he is stamped on the side of Bellerin's ankle, or Bellerin's leg, of course. Now, fortunately, I think Bellerin was actually okay after this. It wasn't actually too bad. Obviously, Paul Pogba then went on to get sent off after that tackle, as you would rightly expect it. Studs up. Very dangerous tackle. Like I said, we've seen a numerous amount of leg breaks from these tackles. What I was actually thinking as well, what I actually missed, it was actually on Bellerin's knee, okay? Bellerin's like stuck his leg down to block it. Obviously, Pogba's overextended and he's like stamped on the side of Bellerin's knee. Now, if that had broke his knee or, seriously done damage to a footballer's knee, sometimes footballers never come back from knee injuries. Knee injuries are one of the worst, I think, in football to come back from. Sometimes the knee never is the same again. So, Bellerin got lucky there, I suppose. Thank God, he got lucky there. Next up is a very recent tackle, actually. Not, well, I say recent tackle, actually. But we're going to put a left back in at right back, okay? We've got Luke Shaw today. Now, we're not talking about his double leg break a couple of years ago. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about a very recent injury playing for England against Spain at Wembley Stadium. Carvajal being the sort of guy involved in this. So what happens very quickly, Luke Shaw's gone for a header. He sort of like headers the side of Carvajal. I'm not really too sure. Carvajal sort of puts his hands up as well. He then hits the ground. As you can see, Luke Shaw's like knocked out. He just slams the ground. His head bounces off the ground. He comes back up and he goes right down and just lies there. So he's like knocked out. And obviously when it's a head injury, obviously you have to go off. And I think he had to sit out for another couple of weeks, even though he was okay, because extra precaution with head injuries, etc. Nasty bit about it was not the original impact, okay, was when he actually hit the ground. Because when he hit the ground, his body just jumped back up again. And yeah, that was not very nice to see. Fortunately, like I said, about, you know, a couple of other tackles in there, that actually he was okay. So he went on to being okay. Obviously, these can go a lot worse, but thank God Luke Shaw was okay after this, because he's had a bit unlucky with injuries and stuff like that over the years. He's been a bit unlucky. Now, next up, we've actually got a Bundesliga player next who's going in at my CDM spot. We have a guy called Kramer. Now, Kramer was a little bit unlucky for a tackle recently as well. All these sort of tackles seem to be very much a high boot or pretty bloody, gory kind of tackle, but Kramer is no different here. So I think it's actually the end of last season. Naby Keita obviously now at Liverpool. He's gone for a ball quite high in the air. Kramer's gone for it with his head. Naby Keita's gone for it obviously with his foot. He's caught Kramer straight in the cheek, okay, and as you can see, Kramer's going for the ball. He comes on the side with his studs, okay, and Kramer, you can see on the ground, blood all over. He split his lip completely open. Fortunately, he was okay. He was allowed to play on. They actually put a plaster over his mouth. I can't see that lasting the whole game, to be honest. That's got to have fallen off. And yeah, you can see all the blood that was there. He split his lip open completely. But once again, in this video, fortunately, he was okay. And actually, unlike a couple other players in this episode, he was allowed to play on, which is very good news. Now, unfortunately, we got a player next, okay, who was very unfortunate and wasn't able to carry on. In fact, he's been out, well, was out of football for a very long time. We have James McCarthy. Now, James McCarthy has suffered a very unfortunate leg break. Now, as you can see, Rondon is running through on goal. He sort of goes past the first player, goes to pull the trigger of his left foot. McCarthy comes in with a last-ditch tackle, and, you know, Rondon's in a full swing of his strike, trying to hit the ball, and he just kicks the back of McCarthy's leg, and I believe he did break his leg from that. Now, this is very unfortunate. Obviously, Rondon's very upset after the situation. He's, you know, gutted that he's hurt someone like this, and the fact is, it was a pure accident as well. You know, some of the tackles in this we've seen are very dirty tackles, and the player should hold his hands up and say, that was wrong, I should not have done that. Rondon goes to have a shot here. Obviously, he's trying to score a goal, being what strikers do, of course. He's pulled the trigger. McCarthy's coming from behind with a good tackle, whatever, and he's, you know, left-footed swang throw, and unfortunately at the back of his leg and broke his leg as well. Very unfortunate, and we wish obviously McCarthy full recovery. I think he might be back now actually. So yeah, it was actually a double leg break as well. I can't find any articles to find out if he's back or not yet, but there we go. Our midfield is nearly complete. We've got to move on now to one more player who, I mean, do you know what? I'm going to put him in midfield. I had someone else I had in mind for midfield, but I'm going to swap and put the other guy up front. So the next one we got is Wayne Rooney. Now, we're not talking about anything, you know, when he was in the Premier League or anything like that. He's been in the MLS now, and he's already had a pretty nasty injury. We're going to put him in at centre mid for now. So I'm not really sure what happens. There's like a ball in the box. Everyone's going for it. It looks like something and nothing. And before you know it, boys and girls, Rooney turns around, mate, and his face is covered in blood. Absolutely covered in blood. But to be fair to him, he's a bit of a warrior. He doesn't really go down. He sort of just has a rub in his face. He's like, yeah, brilliant. I'm bleeding everywhere. And just sort of walks off the pitch, really. And now when I say covered in blood, you guys can see it on the screen now. I mean, absolutely covered in blood. This is a very nasty injury, and thankfully he was okay after this as well. I'm not 100% sure if he did go on to play in this game as well, if he carried on. If any of you know, let me know in the comment section down below. That would be much appreciated. I'd like to think so. This is not the first and won't be the last time Rooney probably has a head injury. He seems to have cut his eye or cut his face numerous times in football over the years. I remember him doing it for Man United back in the day a couple times. He's probably done it, I think he's done it for Everton as well, from an elbow. That was literally last season, if you guys probably remember that. That was pretty bad. But yeah, he's on to MLS and things are no different. Wayne Rooney still getting injured out there. I mean, pretty nastily as well. So we do have another tackle here on one of the wonder kids of the world. We got Kylian Mbappe. Now Mbappe is at a pretty, I mean, okay, let's talk about Mbappe for 2 seconds. So if any of you play football, you'll know that there is always pretty much a rapid kid who's pretty good on the ball and very, very speedy, very quick. They tend to get tackled and, you know, fouled on the most probably in your football team. Now Mbappe is very similar to that, very quick, very skillful, and the slower players always foul him, always catch him, even if they don't mean to. They're trying to get the ball, but because Mbappe's so quick and he gets away and gets that first touch, he ends up getting snapped quite a lot. And this happens probably every month for Mbappe. He probably gets snapped pretty badly just because of how quick and, you know, skillful he is. Now, as you guys can see on the screen, Mbappe is obviously, there's a ball gone over the top, okay, between him and the goalkeeper. He's so quick, he's in behind. He doesn't quite get there, neither does the goalkeeper, and the goalkeeper ends up just clattering into him. Now, if you guys can maybe see, I don't know how the graphic's going to be, if it's going to be good quality or not, but Mbappe Mbappe knows the collision's coming, okay? The goalkeeper hits him, then the goalkeeper lands on him again afterwards. I mean, it's pretty nasty. But Mbappe already actually split the back of his head open in that game as well. So you can see the back of his head is already, I think that was because someone come up for a header behind him. And they've just, you know, headed into the back of his head. So he's been in the wars that game for sure. Very unlucky day at the office for him, of course. Well, I've got that on the screen. Very unlucky day at the office for him. Couple of bad tackles. I mean, the keeper, I mean, it's just, he was going for it and he's just clattered into him, and then Mbappe's gone flying down and the keeper's landed on him straight after. I mean, yeah, Mbappe's had a pretty unlucky day there. Next up, we have a very new injury, of course, which you probably can see from the thumbnail. I think I'm going to use this guy for the thumbnail, to be fair. We've got Roberto Firmino, whatever you want to call him. Now, he had a pretty nasty injury recently against Tottenham. Now, it happened very quick. I think it was, obviously, it was the defender, Vertonghen. He stuck his hand out like that, and it happened so quick, obviously. Then you've seen, obviously, Firmino hold his eye and think, well, you know, what's gone on? Doesn't look like much contact. But when you freeze it and really have a look, you know, Vertonghen really has fingered his eye there, I'm not going to lie. It's like Vertonghen's imagined it was something else. He's just absolutely fingered his eye. And obviously Firmino is in, you know, a lot of pain after that. It's pretty nasty. And then he even turns up to training wearing goggles, okay? Because that's how much his eye hurt, and they're obviously protecting it and stuff like that. It's still pretty raw. But that is crazy. Robert Firmino, obviously, an eye injury. Not what you want to see in football, because, let's be honest, if footballers have eye injuries, Scholes had it, remember? And he nearly had to retire early, and he did miss a lot of football. Because when your eye's not working properly, there's no way you can play football, especially at the top level. There's absolutely no way. Sunday League, maybe, but Premier League, probably not. Roberto Firmino, he's done alright. He's done alright to come back and be okay there. Last of all, we got the, well, most expensive player in the world, I do actually think. Neymar. Okay, now Neymar, of course, another PSG player like Mbappe. Now, Neymar Jr. actually had this injury whilst he was playing for Brazil, I think not too long ago. Now, this tackle happened, of course, when he was playing for Brazil. Now, Brazil, I don't know what happened. It all happened so quick. Before you know it, mate, the side of Neymar's face is absolutely covered in blood, okay? So we've got another bloody situation. We have, obviously, Rooney was covered in blood. We had Kramer covered in blood. We had Sergio Ramos covered in blood. I mean, Edison was probably covered in blood. There are some pretty nasty, crazy tackles out there that do leave footballers in a pretty bad way. Neymar is no exception. He's a very quick player like Mbappe, and a lot of footballers don't like Neymar, so they probably feel like they want to hurt him sometimes and want to snap him, I can imagine sometimes. That's how it sort of feels like. Anyway, guys, if you have enjoyed this episode of course, FIFA 19 squads with the worst injuries in football, drop a like and a thumbs up down below. Let's get to 2,000 likes. That'd be absolutely amazing. Don't forget, you can enter my FIFA point giveaway in the description down below. No, in the comment section, not in the description, in the comment section, you can enter it. All you have to do is comment below what the next squad builder is that you want to see on my YouTube channel. That's all you have to do. Very simple. It's not that deep. Anyway, guys, I'm out. It has been a pleasure as always. See you guys for another video tomorrow. Take it easy and peace.
A little strong enough.